All right, we're back at the Man Cave. I'm your host. Got a video here today, and this is that very touchy subject that a lot of men don't like talking about. It's called the friend zone. So we got two videos for you today about a couple of people explaining it, and they're gonna talk about their experience with it. So let's get started with it, please.
I was on a date. I thought it was a date.
Thought it was a date.
One day, she went on a trip, and she just happened to be in the city that I was going to like the next day.
Damn.
So I hit her up, and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm finna be out there. Like, we should link up when I get out there." So I end up looking up some place to Instacart some flowers from, stuff like that. We get to the dinner. We chopping it up. Everything going good. Before the flowers get a chance to get to the restaurant, she was like, right now I'm just networking and, meeting you. I just feel like you would be a super dope friend and somebody to know and network with and things like that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, flowers on the way though. So the Instacart guy called the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I answered the call and I'm like, oh, I gotta take this. I'll be back. Blew the shit out of her. She looking like, man, if it was a bitch, you could have just took the phone call. Like, I ain't even on that with you. So she fake blue. I'm like, cool, whatever. So I go outside, grab the flowers, come back, give her the flowers. It was 2 dozens of roses. You know what I'm saying? Give her the flowers. And I just flip it like, you just finished some grad school classes for the semester. It's just a little celebration. It ain't shit, whatever. Salty to the motherfucker. Salty to the motherfucker. And I just flip it like, you just finished some grad school classes for the semester. It's just a little celebration. It ain't shit, whatever. Salty to the motherfucker. Salty to the motherfucker. And basically,
I want you to listen to what he said. Salty as an MF. Just want to invite you to listen to that.
I got friend zone. Hard.
Damn.
In person. Boundary. Boom. Network. Homie. Fuck is you talking about? All that. I feel like a lot of people would have got bitter in that situation, stopped hitting her up, or like, I ain't looking for no friend. I ain't on that. Whatever. And she's bad though. On top of that, like, cold. I stayed cool with her, right? We chopped it up. She real cold on the business side. And she ended up telling me, like, man, y'all should start taking donations for what y'all do with the young kids in the city or whatever like that. I'm like, yeah, I don't really into donations and stuff. Like, we know how to figure out ways to make money to take care of stuff. She like, nah, like, it might be some millionaires following you. You never know. So I listened to her. Cool. We do the event. I put the donation link out there. In probably like an hour, we had enough money to cover a couple events. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
So
Nice. Good stuff.
Being able to beef the event up, order better food, shit like that. Cover the videographer, all of that. That wouldn't have been the case if I would have got on some salty shit and been like, oh no, I can't be in no friend zone. I ain't looking for no homie, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want to talk about today, man. Like, why do men run from the friend zone so hard? Like, where does it come from? Why aren't men just able to be like, okay, I shot my shot, she not on shit, we can be cool?
Simple, because you had a connection with that significant other, that woman, that you thought you were on the same level. Same way that you thought when you made your way to make a trip to see somebody who wasn't planning to see you. It does change the whole dynamic of it. And it's not something that's easy to turn off. So when you're going out with it, you want to see this chick, and there are some men who don't know how to just throw themselves into it and just jump into the game. They play the long game. And what ends up happening is that you try your best to try to like get her and do all this extra stuff. And then chances are usually 9 out of 10 that chick will look at you and say, the energy that you're giving off is giving off something too weak for me. So she will immediately put you into the friend zone. That's what they do. Now, there's nothing wrong with a guy who says, I have enough guy friends. I have enough friends. I don't need any more friends. That way, it keeps it from ever becoming a problem. It makes it much easier to deal with it because you may still have feelings and it may take you a while to get along with it. And you're like, oh, I want to be friends and this and that. And I'm like, I'm good with friends. But this guy doesn't seem to understand it. Maybe because his experience was completely different. But his outcome still ended the same way.
Like, what's the big problem? What's the big deal with it? Why is it looked down upon? Why does it look like, you hear the word simp getting thrown out there and all of that? So we're gonna explore that today.
So with that said and done, yes, because usually what happens is when they put you in the friend zone, they want to keep you around to do all your little tasks, the things that they don't want to do. So the guy that will give them up the goods, they'll give up the goods to, they're not going to be able to get any of that good treatment from. So they use you, the simp. Now, I actually wrote to him a little while back about this, and I was being respectful. I was just being, not going to really getting deep into what I said, but I would say don't be disingenuous. Your experience is different. 99% of the women, 99% of men do not have this experience. And he wrote something that didn't make any sense. And I know what his fan base is, which is why the answer didn't make any sense. But what the thing that bothers me the most is that he did feel salty about this because he took the time to come all the way down there to see her. And she saw you as just a friend. And you felt, as you said, you felt salty about it. You were on a podcast because you got to look and keep the part of a person that's not affected by a woman who put you in the friend zone. Salty is what you were. Salty recognizes salty. That's why instead of you staying there on the phone and listening to the fact that your flowers were delivered, you left and then orchestrated a plan to see it, make it seem like, oh no, I wasn't trying to hit with you. I know you were doing things. Now that sounds slick. It's pretty good, but you exposed yourself because you just proved that you fell for it and you still had feelings for her. And like you said, she's a bad bee. You got caught up with her looks and her attraction. And you basically did all this stuff that didn't work and she wasn't checking for you, which is fine. Women are not owing men their time and attention anywhere any more than the other way around. Absolutely. You both have to earn each other's time. But to sit here and pretend like you don't understand why men don't like the friend zone, because the friend zone is nothing more than for most women to use the men. You get to do all the manual labor, the things that they ask you to do. And that dude who can't do jack squat, he's the one who's going to be in it, raw dogging it. You don't want to be that guy. That's one step away from being a stepfather. So his response didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. What does that mean to what I said? And he never responded back, but that's fine. I think it's a smart thing he did. He moved on. But it's like, before I get to the next video, it's like when I'm at work. There's a girl and her partner would never talk to me. If I said something, then they would talk, but they would never necessarily talk to me. Never made any conversation for me. And I'm like, whatever. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. So I actually made a couple of years later, I actually was talking to my friend because I like fixing cars. I'm a mechanic. I like taking care of my own things, whether it's my cell phone or house appliances, car, etc. She overheard that. Now, mind you, she has not talked to me. She doesn't go out of her way to talk to me. But she then wants to say, oh, you fix cars? And in my head, I'm like, oh, interesting how now all of a sudden you know how to communicate like a human being. So she comes up and she's like, oh, that's just good to know. Like, we should just exchange numbers. Like, if I ever have problems with my car, mind you, she's married. You're married and you're talking to me this. So the first thing I said is, yeah, we can totally go over it. I can look at whatever's wrong with your car and I'll give you a quote. She gave me this look like she was shocked. I said, yeah, if you're good at something, you never do it for free. And I walked away. I said, what did you think this was? You think I was going to do it for free? That's what the friend zone's for. Suckers that do things for desperate women who are too lazy to get the men who are raw dogging them to do it for them.
Is it bad to friend zone people or kind of kick them to the side once you realize the physical isn't what you expected?
Trip. Here's where it would be f***ed up. If you've put this person in the friend zone that you're not attracted to physically, so you can still have access to them without investing in them romantically, then yes, you're f***ed up.
No, I may be attracted to them physically, but when it comes down to I don't like the way they kiss my lips, top or bottom, I'm just not feeling the way they do it.
I mean for any reason.
Any reason, okay.
If you've relegated somebody to the friend zone for the sole purpose of still having access to them, you're f***ed up.
Okay.
If you know you don't rock with them like that, then go ahead and get them completely out the paint.
See how she tried to just skip over that This is why I say that accountability thing. And I'm glad he stuck to his gun. He knew it. He was like, "You're messed up." Oh, well, I'm talking about this thing. Like, she tried to move the goalpost, and he pushed it right back over. Usually, he likes to simp to women, and pander, but he was on point with this one. Absolutely. You don't keep them around to utilize them, because the honest truth is, when you do it to a woman, they can acknowledge it, that that's wrong. I've friend zoned plenty of girls that I didn't like. I never tried to use them because that would be messed up. But the honest truth is, women only see it as a problem. Here's the thing. They know it's a problem. They like to pretend it's not a problem. They want someone that will agree with them. So that's why when she didn't get the answer she wanted to make excuses. Well, he don't kiss me down up here or down there. Nah, you're still messed up. And I'm glad. And she's like, okay. She didn't get any further. She didn't try to debate. She sit her big butt down, and that was the end of it. Yeah, you shouldn't be friend zoning nobody. Like, not to that degree. Where you still want to use them for things. And men, stop doing things for free for women. I'm not talking to your friends. Friends is one thing. Coworkers you cool with is one thing. But if you ever had an attraction to them and they're just keeping you around to do things, but they got a man, stop it. Don't do it. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. It is a waste of time, and that woman needs to learn how to fend for herself. If her man, who gets to get in bed with her every single day, doesn't have to fix the gutters or the windows or the converter in your car, then you know what? Unless you getting some green or you getting some booty, don't do it.